Fidelity is now got a major Bitcoin. TD Ameritrade is moving into Bitcoin. eToro's hugely into Bitcoin. I mean, it's making the institutional play now.
It would be in America's national interest to start mining Bitcoin and accumulating Bitcoin.
If there is one person who has mastered the art of financial prediction, you've got to give it to Max Keiser. Since the 2008 financial crash, the now 61-year-old American broadcaster and Bitcoin evangelist has endlessly captured the imagination of millions of crypto traders by boldly foreseeing its market trends. Since the 2008 crash, Keiser has grown in status to become an eccentric hero of alternative media. He's been accused of trying to exist beyond the normal forces and controls of society, yet he still retains an astonishingly huge audience. From labeling J.P. Morgan the biggest financial terrorist on Wall Street to probing the CIA, this man has the conviction of a lion. His economic theories revolve around scams, financial terrorists, and he's also a reliable voice on the emerging trends in cryptocurrency. You don't get to be called an evangelist for no reason. Keiser is the real deal, and I would urge crypto enthusiasts to hear him out. And to back that claim, I'll be showing you Keiser's latest bold prediction about cryptocurrency. This is undoubtedly headline-worthy news, so stay with us to the end to find out what he had to say. But before we begin, tell us, would you rather pick the views of cryptocurrency strategists on prediction or rely on computer algorithms to determine your investment call? Let us know in the comments below. Now let's get it on. Well known in the crypto industry, Bitcoin bull Max Keiser has publicly expressed his fair share of price expectations for the asset. The Russian TV station RT broadcasts a show called the Keiser Report, hosted by Max Keiser himself. The show began in 2009 and has covered numerous financial topics, including Bitcoin and crypto. Keiser has also spoken on gold a number of times, often noting Bitcoin's strengths in comparison with the precious metal. As an established filmmaker and broadcaster, Max Keiser is well known for presenting, anchoring, and producing a number of television shows and news programs. He advocates cryptocurrency on his platform and constantly suggests that he despises fiat money. This is why many of his viewers are intrigued about how much fortune Keiser holds. Max Keiser has reaffirmed he believes the price of Bitcoin will hit $220,000, but changed his prediction to this year as his previous prediction for 2021 ultimately failed to materialize. According to a tweet Keiser published, he believes that the computing power behind the network, the hash rate, precedes the cryptocurrency's price, which would mean that a new high in hash rate will translate to a new high in price. Notably, Bitcoin's hash rate grew 49% year over year from 136.5 exahashes per second in early January 2021 to over 203.5 in the first week of January 2022, a new all-time high. In July 2020, the network's hash rate plummeted to a 68 exahashes per second low after China's crackdown on the crypto mining industry, but it has since recovered after major Bitcoin miners moved their operations to the United States and Kazakhstan. Keiser, it's worth noting, has in the past signaled he believes Bitcoin's hash rate precedes potential price movements and used it to make bullish predictions on the price of the flagship cryptocurrency. As Crypto Globe reported, the former Wall Street trader first predicted the price of Bitcoin would surpass the $200,000 mark in 2021 back in January of that year, in an interview with Stansberry Research, in which he said he expects Bitcoin to surge to the point its market capitalization will be above $4 trillion. At the time, Keiser said, "We're going to catch up with gold." Keiser's prediction was based on inflation, believing fiat money around the world is in a hyperinflationary collapse against Bitcoin. Inflation, it's worth noting, is the decline of the purchasing power of a currency over time. A small level of inflation is seen as positive for the economy, as it promotes spending to a certain extent over saving, nurturing economic growth. If inflation grows too much and goes out of control, it's described as hyperinflation, which can cause a surge in the price of basic goods, such as fuel and food. Keiser is a well-known Bitcoin bull who has earlier argued that Bitcoin's market capitalization could surpass $300 trillion in the future, predicting the flagship cryptocurrency could surpass the US dollar and become the world's reserve currency. Keiser grew up in Westchester County, New York. After studying theater at New York University, he took various jobs in stand-up comedy and radio, a part-time job as a stockbroker in the 1980s at Paine Webber, and the Midtown office of Oppenheimer & Company Incorporated under David Tufts. Since September 2009, Keiser has hosted the Keiser Report with financial news and analysis on the RT network. The 30-minute program is produced 3 times a week. Stacey Herbert, who is Keiser's wife, is the co-host. She banters with Keiser on headlines and commentary. Most episodes are divided into 2 parts. In the first half, Keiser and Herbert alternately discuss a current financial topic, comment on financial media reports, and provide commentary on the actions of bankers. The second half features a guest interview, either face-to-face in the studio or through video conferencing, conducted by Keiser. Back in 2021, Keiser made some bold statements about the massive growth of cryptocurrency. He said the financial system has been engaging in a desperate maneuver to counter the surge in the cryptocurrency market, now worth about $3 trillion worldwide. Those measures are actually worsening inflation and hastening their demise, however, he said. Money printing has been a problem for a long time, he said. In the United States as well as in the world, all central banks coordinate with each other to extend the hyperinflation crisis as a measure to keep fiat money alive. He added, that is why the value of Bitcoin is at $50,000 or $60,000, because there's a fear of hyperinflation that's coming. When the cost of food is above 40% of a country's GDP, people end up incurring insurrection. We saw it in the Arab Spring or in the French Revolution, where people came to insurrection in part because of the cost of food. The whole currency is on the way to collapse, no matter what the economists say. Bitcoin, however, could be an equalizer. While the U.S. has historically had a strong influence over the economy of Latin America, cryptocurrency could change that scenario, he said. Uncoupling economic influence from institutions and nations like the U.S. could be appealing to many people across the world, making crypto all the more alluring. We are close to seeing the demonetization of the world's economies, Keiser said. Nothing backs the dollar. Just men with guns. The dollar bills represent hatred. The military has half or most of the taxes we pay in the United States. The broadcaster speaks the mind of millions, and there's much to show for it. Latin America has been more welcoming to cryptocurrency. El Salvador became the first country in the world to make Bitcoin legal tender in June 2021. Brazil and Paraguay are now locked in a race to be second. In September, the Congress of Brazil proposed a bill to that effect, while Paraguay unveiled its proposal in June. The bill in Paraguay proposes to regulate cryptocurrencies and allow their mining. In addition, it seeks to establish legal, financial, and tax security in businesses related to virtual digital assets. Both bills reflect the legal framework first established by El Salvador. With Brazil and Paraguay on the road to ratifying Bitcoin as legal tender, Keiser's words take on the greater force. Keiser believes that Bitcoin will be widely adopted in the future because people will be desperate for a store of value that is not being debased by relentless central bank money printing. Those that choose the Bitcoin escape hatch, he says, will be markedly better off than those who don't. As central banks continue to erode and the problem continues to get worse and there's no new solutions, or thinking just to continue doing the same broken thing, you're going to see Bitcoin gallop higher, which isn't going to attract more capital, and you're just going to have this bifurcated global economy. There's going to be a Bitcoin economy and a Bitcoin world and a Bitcoin life, and people living the Bitcoin life. And there will be everybody else. Keiser has had a successful career as a part-time stand-up comedian and stockbroker. He's also starred on shows like The Oracle with Max Keiser, The Keiser Report, and On the Edge. He's gained popularity and wealth as a result of his constant hard work. His net worth is estimated to be $10 million as of 2022. Before taking on big roles like producing The Oracle, he created 10 short documentaries for Al Jazeera's People in Power series. It focused on different aspects of the financial system, and it was a success. Keiser is a man who thinks ahead, and co-founding the Hollywood Stock Exchange is his proof. He co-invented a platform with partner Michael Burns that allowed traders to buy and sell virtual securities. The exchange offered a convertible virtual currency called the Hollywood Dollar, as well as movie stocks. He was awarded a U.S. patent for this genius idea. Sadly, he sold the business later in his career. His unique approach to digital assets is somehow in line with the fundamentals of Bitcoin. This is perhaps why he was one of the few individuals who openly advocated for cryptocurrency before it became popular in mainstream media. He began purchasing Bitcoin almost 10 years ago when the price was roughly $1 per coin. While he has never stated how many coins he has, it's estimated that his assets are worth millions of dollars. And because Bitcoin has gotten so massive, this investment significantly affects his current wealth. Cryptocurrency's future outlook is still very much in question. Proponents see limitless potential, while critics see nothing but risk. For Bitcoin to become globally adopted as a mode of payment, it has to be scalable or expandable enough to support such activity. But blockchain technology that enables Bitcoin is still struggling, and developers are in a constant quest to find systems for a decentralized blockchain that is both secure and scalable. As long as a scalable system is not found and Bitcoin is not able to deliver on its initial use case, the speculators have the upper hand. When speculators dictate value, volatility increases, making it even more difficult for Bitcoin to be adapted as a payment method. Even with that, there's no denying that crypto has gone mainstream. The total value of all cryptocurrencies in circulation stands at more than $2.2 trillion, with Bitcoin accounting for about $920 billion of that total. The growth is what keeps people like Keiser to believe it's the future. What about you? Do you believe Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies will eventually replace the dollar as the primary mode of exchange? Let us know in the comments below.